The Shadow Raid is by far the worst heist in Payday 2. In a game with a myriad of fun, engaging, and creatively designed missions, it's a real shame that this crock of shit gets elevated to the level it does. People tend to see this as the big one, and so as a result, every single time you log into crime.net, there's always at least one Shadow Raid server hosted by some level 70 kid who just maxed out Rogue. Now, if you've never experienced it for yourself, or your experience with it boils down to a pub server where you basically get told to do nothing while everybody else just sort of goes in and does it for you, you might be a bit confused right now as to what I'm talking about. So allow me to introduce you to the worst heist in Payday 2. The Shadow Raid is a stealth heist that involves you silently stealing all of the goodies out of a heavily guarded murky water warehouse. It's widely regarded as one of the hardest stealths in the game, and it's one of the only heists that can only be completed stealth. The plan is simple: run in, steal a bunch of shit without being caught, and get out. This heist features several sections, each of varying difficulty. You have the first outdoor section that's the easiest, then the outer warehouse section that's a little harder, and then the inner warehouse that's complete and total horse hockey. Like, why are there just 3 guards walking around this corner? And why are all the cameras still active? There's no one in the camera room, and how did he see me? What the fuck? But we'll get to that later. The loot in the outdoor section is 3 or 4 bags of money and possibly a crowbar. The loot in the outer warehouse could be money, cocaine, gold, or an inexplicably heavy artifact. The loot in the inner warehouse includes coke, weapons, money, paintings, and a big-ass hard drive. And you have to carry all of these, one by one, to a dumpster behind the warehouse. If you get caught at any point during the heist, you're given exactly 2 minutes to gather up what little loot you can and book it the hell out. Although in like 98% of cases, if that happens, you're most likely just going to restart anyway. So I figured I'd start this one off with a bit of that low-hanging fruit and talk about how this heist is the most horrendously boring mission in the entire game. Stealth in general in Payday 2 can be pretty boring at times. In fact, it's become somewhat of a meme how boring stealths like bank heist are. But in this heist is just... In a lot of heists in Payday 2, there's interesting mechanics and stories that go along with what you need to do to complete the mission. My personal favorite heist in the game is one where you have to extract a mystery disease from a dying dude in a haunted hospital that gets shot at with rockets at the end, and you have to escape through the roof, and it's just... It's amazing. Even the loud version of this very same heist, Meltdown, you zipline in and hold off a police assault while overheating a vault which is holding nuclear armaments that you have to then carry to a car, which you maneuver through another police assault that throw the nukes into a train, all while attempting to survive cloakers and snipers and bulldozers, is so much more fun than this absolute bore of a heist. This heist thing was supposed to be that you can do it in a bunch of different ways. But considering everybody just goes the sewer route with the thermal paste and nothing else ever, I find it hard to appreciate its variety. All you do in this heist is carry bags back and forth over and over again. There's no interesting mechanics, no twists, unless you count the helicopter as a twist, and all you do is carry bags around for 20 minutes. The most interesting part of the heist is just a vault with a time lock that's not even mandatory. It's entirely optional. Oh, and by the way, if you get lucky, it's literally the easiest thing in the heist. If not, it's just completely impossible. This is by far the hardest heist in the game, but not because the objectives are difficult or the heist itself has difficult mechanics. No, it's difficult because there's a shit ton of guards and civvies, and RNG makes it completely up to chance. Take this for example. One of the mechanics of this heist is that about a quarter of the way through, a bunch of guards all just file into the warehouse all at once. And I don't know whether this is a mechanical bug, but about 80% of the time I go to disable the cameras, there's nobody in the camera room, and the cameras are still operational. And then I just gotta deal with them for the rest of the heist. This mission has one element that adds any semblance of difficulty to it, and they just ramp it up to 11. The rest of the heist is easy as hell, but the guards and civvies are just so damn annoying. I get that the point of this heist is it's supposed to be some heavily guarded facility, but when I have to restart the game 3/4 of the way through because some random dude I didn't even know existed just happened to stumble upon my one clumsily placed body in the most obscure, out of the way area of the map, or when you sit in the corner and wait for a guard to walk away and think it's safe and then get up and immediately have that notion revoked when another random guard just decides to pop out of nowhere, it really doesn't leave me with good feelings about that mechanic. If you were to do this heist perfectly, in one beautiful run, without messing up at all, it'd still take you about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. But given the fact that that literally never happens, the average time it takes to complete this is around 45 minutes to an hour and a half. There have been nights where I have spent 2 whole bloody hours trying to do this heist and just keep fucking up and having to restart. And believe me, there are a few things more infuriating than having spent more than an hour trying to do this heist, only to have it completely fucked up by that one body that you left in the most obscure location ever. Like, what the actual hell? Who are you? Why are you even over here of all places? This heist pretty much requires that you purchase assets and or kill civilians. I have never seen anyone do this heist without doing at least one of those multiple times. And every time you fuck up and have to restart, you don't get back any of the money you spent. So good luck attempting to make any actual money off this heist, because by the time you finally manage to suffer all the way through to the end, your payout is going to be tiny, if you even actually make any money, due to having to spend so much just to get the heist done to start with. While recording the clips for this video on my second attempt, I was actually having pretty good luck, and I actually finished a lot quicker than I had predicted, and I still ended up losing money overall. This heist is just so expensive to complete, it's just not worth it. In the time I spent suffering through this heist, I could have been playing the Hoxton Breakout and having so much more fun and making so much more money. The Shadow Raid isn't worth your time or money. Its unnecessary bullshit isn't balanced by anything that would really make it worthwhile. The payout ends up being tiny and it barely gives you any XP. If you just want to do a fun and difficult stealth heist, there are better options for that too, that are infinitely more worth your time and effort. The Shadow Raid is frustrating, boring, expensive, time consuming, and just overall not fun to play. If you've never had the misfortune of attempting this heist, do yourself a favor and don't. I've suffered through this heist more than enough today to show you how terrible it is. So if you haven't experienced yet and you're still planning on doing it, consider this a formal warning. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to me that you've taken the time to sit through my stuff. If you like this video, it would also be really epic of you to hit that like button and subscribe, because I post new videos every Wednesday, and it'd be a shame if you missed out on some of that sweet runtime because your mouse didn't find itself in a certain position over my subscribe button.